Hello everyone and welcome back to Art History Shorts. So like I mentioned in my video on abstract expressionism, the paintings of this movement tended to fall under two categories, action painting and color field. But there were also paintings that didn't quite fit into either category, and I'd say this is the case with paintings done by Grace Hartigan. Her work, for the most part, bordered on representational, often combining figure and the abstract. Her earlier work was purely abstract, but she later started adding more recognizable images like we'll see in the painting Summer Street, done in 1956, that is the focus of this video. For the duration of her career, she moved between abstract and representational images. There's no real label or box where you can easily place her art because of the way she experimented with different techniques, like with her brushstrokes, and the way she flattened her figures instead of representing them is more three-dimensional. So in Summer Street, we see a figure in the foreground, and I use that term lightly because there's no real regression into space in this painting, but your mind wants you to see it that way. It's kind of amazing what the brain forces you to see so that what you're looking at makes more sense. This is just something to be aware of when you're looking at semi-abstract and abstract works of art. Something that I like to do is actually flip the image to help trick the mind from looking for the representational and have it look more for the shapes, lines, and colors. It's easier to break down, to examine it when your logical mind doesn't get in the way. In Summer Street, the figure pops off the canvas and centers itself as the focal point, as it's the first thing our mind can sort of figure out. And along with this, we also have surrounding the figure are these deep greens and blues, and then you have this shock of pink inside of that. There's also a nice diagonal balance of the reds here that draw you up from the figure to the right, upper right side. These big sections of green bring balance to the painting as well. There's also a lot of variation in the brushstrokes that bring energy and engagement to this piece. The figure has these quick, shorter hashes, while the greens and blues are applied in a smoother way. Something else that can help attribute this idea of a foreground and background to the mind. Smoother shapes recede and texture tends to come forward. The figure is a rendering of fellow abstract expressionist painter Elaine de Kooning, and her image blends and breaks into the scene around her. There is a fruit stand above her that we can imagine would be in the background, but the fruit is as big as, if not bigger than, the figure's head. I love imagining this section here as monstrous grapes. Summer Street evokes the sense of freedom that you can associate with the season. This painting is playful, and it reminds me that there is room for play in the study of art. We can get the sense when looking at Hartigan's Summer Street that it was painted quickly, freely, and with a sense of urgency. Much of her work has this energy to it, this desire to get it all down quickly, that what she is seeing, whether in front of her or in her mind, will disappear and she has to get it all down. What comes of that are these fragments of a moment, the essentials of a moment. She captured this feeling for us to understand. I hope you enjoyed this look at the expressionist painter Grace Hartigan and her painting Summer Street. If you did, please consider subscribing to the channel. It would mean a lot to me, and I will see you next time with another painter from AbX.